Welcome to the second installment of Kingtober. If you didn't catch the last video, I am taking 3 creepy things from my childhood and drawing them now, because I'm an adult and can handle it. I got my big boy pants on. Last video, I had drawn Jeff the Killer from Creepypasta fame. I'm doing another Creepypasta, but it's focused on a specific kind of Creepypasta. A specific niche, if you would. What do y'all know about Muffins?
Calling all the monsters. Calling all the monsters.
When I originally started watching YouTube, it was to watch cartoons that weren't on air anymore. Because my family members would be like, you want to watch this show? Just look it up on the YouTube. Because they didn't understand how internet copyright worked. So eventually, one of the cartoons that piqued my interest was My Little Pony. Because I was the target audience. Yeah! Anyway, so this is how I get into pastel horse score. The creepypasta scene flourished in the land of pastel horses. I couldn't even fully tell you why, but it's probably the same reason why the scene flourished in the first place. A bunch of adults, mostly men, were like, huh, look at us. Isn't it ironic that we're enjoying a show about cute little pastel horses, and we're like grown-ass, edgy men? So, they took this thing, and it was just like, I'm gonna make these horses do something creepy, because I'm so cool. In the same vein of the coma theories, or like, everyone is dead, blah. People love making shit that is not meant to be creepy. And while, yeah, there are some pretty good stuff, there's a couple of gems. This pile is mostly blood and viscera. The more popular ones were the darker ones that included less, like, generally creepy shit and more just fucking gore, and they called them grimdarks from what I remember. Again, it's been years. I haven't bothered to relook into this because I'm 21 years old and fucking over it. The 2 biggest ones were Rainbow Factory and Cupcakes. When Cupcakes came out, people were acting like this is the most terrifying shit that they have ever come across. However, the same communities had the same reaction to the Luna game, and I'm pretty sure that was just various crunchy JPEGs of stolen work. But something broken clock, something twice a day. The Cupcake story was pretty freaking gruesome. And if you're unfamiliar with Cupcakes, how is that rock you're living under? The rent must be incredibly inexpensive in this economy. Are you looking for a roommate? The basic concept was Pinkie Pie knew everybody's names in Ponyville, not because she's the best party pony, but because she has all their names on a list, and when people's names come up on a list, she takes them down to make cupcakes out of their bodies after horrifically torturing them. I don't know why the torture part comes in. I understood, like, the baking and eating people. That's basic, spooky, scary stuff. Why the torture? Why the torture? I even understand the party favors. Life's the party and whatnot. Why the torture? Does it make the meat taste better? What's going on? You just a freak! But freak shit aside, this story took the community by storm, and there was someone who read this story, and it was just like, what if I made it an extended universe and involved it made it a family affair? Ooh. To make a very fucking long story short, Muffins is an unhinged continuation of the original Cupcakes, where it's a whole shit with Apple Bloom, late game Babseed, Derpy, and Pinkie Pie's 3 other siblings. Maud does not exist in its universe. It is replaced with Minkie Pie, because this was made before the introduction of Maud, so that's not like a screw Maud kind of thing. It was just she didn't exist. Pinkie never met Minkie because Minkie was put in a basement when Inky, I think, was born, or a toddler, because her parents were religious nuts and convinced that child had the devil in her. I think pony Protestants. Let's go, woo! But her other siblings find Minkie in the basement and then kill her parents, which I think is like the one justified kill in this entire story. Everyone else is just like innocent, and then like these fucking jackasses who basically like abuse their kids their entire life get get what they got. That's fine. But Minky, you know, as a result, is incredibly ill-socialized because she was always a strange kid, and then, like, all her development years was stuck in a basement, and her cutie mark is a lock, which is supposed to show that she's meant to be imprisoned.
Oh, brother!
That's her destiny or something, which I don't even think that's how cutie marks work. But I also don't think Pinkie Pie is a serial killer, so clearly things are a little bit off kilter. The list of bakers includes Derpy Hooves, Apple Bloom, Pinkie Pie as previously mentioned, and, you know, Minky Obsidian Pie, and then Inky and Blinky, I think were them other niggas' names. I don't remember. And I sure as shit ain't looking it up. This story was already unhinged because it started at an unhinged place to begin with, but it truly started jumping several sharks when at the Babs section, because at a certain point they decided, like, oh, let's see what Babs Seed is going on, and they have a thing going on in Manhattan where Babs is getting bullied for being the only cutie markless person, and her bullies are like mob bosses or whatever, and they decide the author decides to have Babs Seed do a 3v1. Babs Seed, the Earth Pony, do a 3v1 with a unicorn that is really good at fire magic, a Pegasus that can fly and fight pretty good, and an arsonist, and have her win somehow, and then have a whole, like, I'm the Joker baby moment when, like, she's punching the arsonist, and she's like, I just didn't want to stop, I wanted to keep going, I wanted to hear his bones crack.
Oh,
It gave me flashbacks to Jeff the Killer. Somehow, like, the Baker sisters, they get sent to jail because they get caught in the process. They killed Rarity, and they were in the middle of torturing Twilight and Fluttershy. We're already here, dog. We're already here. If this video gets, like, out of this world attention, I mean, like, I'm shooting 10K. If this video gets 10K, which I know it won't, because it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm eensy teensy weensy. If this video gets 10K views, I will reread the entirety of the Muffin story, and it's not gonna happen. I know it's not gonna happen. Apple Bloom and Derpy escape and go to Manhattan and are like, they asked freaking Babs to come down and help them break the other 4 out of Pony prison, which I think it's wild that the Bakers get sent to prison when, like, as far as we know, Discord just kind of, like, harmed people and that nigga got turned to stone. They sent a toddler to Tartarus. Like, I feel like if this happened in canon, it wouldn't. But if this did happen, the princesses were like, we don't have a creative enough punishment, so we decided to put Discord in charge of you. And they ain't never getting their way out of that. Shout out to my nigga Discord. And Babs is like, yeah, sure, I'll join you guys. I have no qualms with murder. Because I guess there's a killer gene. And she's like, but I got some unfinished business before I go down to Ponyville. And she figures out how to masterfully, like, undercover kill her bullies using, like, crushed up apple seeds with a lot of nicotine without getting caught. And then she goes down to Ponyville under the guise of Big Mac needing extra help on the farm because Applejack is dead, and his little sister got turned out to be probably groomed into being a serial killer, because I don't care how many times the story tries to tell you that Apple Bloom were completely consented to becoming serial killers. Apple Bloom was groomed. You can make arguments for Derpy. Apple Bloom was fucking groomed. Speaking of Derpy Hooves, the story the author refuses to acknowledge that Derpy is neurodivergent in any way, or has some sort of mental handicap, because I guess she wants to make sure that you can't read in a way and assume that, like, Derpy is being taken advantage of by the Bakers, and in fact there's this thing where, like, the Bakers are the only people who actually understand her. Everyone else is super fake. But, like, brother, you refusing to name whatever she struggles with, whether it be autism or otherwise, is also ableist as fuck. But this bitch is weird. That bitch is already we're not even. Yeah. Oh my god. Derpy, and then they gave her this, like, sad... Oh, yeah, Derpy was abandoned by her mother in the forest because they didn't feel like taking care of her. What? What? How did we get here? After this, like, 5th grader breaks the bakers out of prison, they form the elements of disharmony, because I guess, like, Pinkie Pie was like, well, all the other elements of harmony are dead, and I don't think I count anymore. Yeah, no shit. And then they kill the other ones. Babs lures Fluttershy in, and then also convinces Twilight to, leave the big Minecraft server. Because after Bab's whole section, which is already deranged, it goes even more deranged, and there's some sort of civil war going on. I don't even know the specifics. I just know, like, it was like a 7v in Ponyville, and the bakers somehow won and became, like, gods or something. I found this out off a video from a couple years ago. I'll flash video on screen if I can find it, and I'll put the link in the description. I've only listened to the stories put up on YouTube, and as far as I know, the author never narrated the newer stuff. So, I don't know. Like I said, if you want to force me to find out, because this story is cheeks. Alright, let's get enough about the story. Let's get into the drawing that I did. I originally planned to have all 7 bakers. And then I was trying to do the composition, I was like, oh, that's too many niggas. That is far too many niggas, I am not in the mood for that shit. So I stuck with Pinkie and Minky. Because those are the main two. When you think about Muffins, you think about Minky. When you think about and Pinkie has to be included because she's the original. You cannot outdo the zooer. I struggled really hard with the perspective on this one because for a while when I was using the guidelines, it was kind of hard to make it look like the viewer was laying down on the table, and I don't have a lot of experience drawing points of views like that, so I kind of just cheesed it until it looked right, and it doesn't. I'm gonna be honest, it probably makes no sense perspective wise, but like it's pleasing to the eyes, and a part of art is fucking around and finding out. Speaking of which, the decor was also hard for that same reason. I had not even figured out the vanishing points and the way things would look in perspective. So when I was trying to draw these decorations, which were kind of important because a part of what made the original story so terrifying was like the sick party favors made out of remains, I was struggling with making it look like it made sense, especially with the laying down, and it was, I don't know how I would get references for this, so I kind of just winged it and cheesed it. Always remember, if you don't want to do something, don't. The shading is doing so much heavy lifting on this piece. Everything is obscure because nothing looks right. With Pinkie and Minky, I wanted their expressions to both read as, oh no, this bitch is crazy, but one is clearly more crazy than the other. With Pinkie Pie, I was going for, it would be unsettling. It would be an unsettling stare if you were, out in public in the daylight. But in this specific setting, it is, terrifying. And with Minky, regardless of where the fuck she's looking at you like that, you don't want her looking like you like that. Girl, get some brown eye contacts, please, and thank you. Half of the reason for that, or the whole reason for that, outside of just contrast, because these two ponies look fairly similar regardless, was that in the original story, it made constant references to how, scary Minky's expressions were, so that felt important to me. I even had to go back and, look at a reference image of Minky's iconic, so scary smile. I had to make it, wider, because I didn't want it. Whatever. When I was drawing this, I was, on the phone with my friends, and I was just like, God, I can't believe this is something I consumed seriously. Seriously and with full sincerity. I thought this was so scary and edgy. I wasn't scared, but I thought it was so cool. Oh my god. Oh, she's so scary. She's a horse. Let's be fucking for real. With Pinkie's iconic Cupcakes dress, I only bothered to show the necklace because the front of the dress is kind of boring, and I also just didn't feel like drawing it. But I still wanted to allude to the outfits, So I did just draw the necklace. Hindsight, I could have drawn the little party hats they both have in the Muffins series, but I didn't because I forgot about it, because I don't think about the series a whole lot. I wanted to have Minky's little outfit thing visible, but Minky's chosen mismatch fabric thing made out of flesh is like leggings.
Get it!
For some reason. They all had their own little outfits. They were such crafty gals. Oh! The necklace, I tried to make sure all the horns were all different shapes and sizes, different curl patterns. When I draw horns, I try to make them look swirly and bumpy and rigid. So, like, some of them end up looking more like ice cream scoops. I just think more people should draw their unicorns as more unicorn shapes, that's all. I feel like not enough people do things with unicorn horns that I think need to be done. When I originally drew the image, I planned to have the filters make it look a little hazy, just in general, hazy, grady, and like in shadow, because I wanted it to look like the viewer is just waking up for the party or whatever. And then when I did like my more subtle ones, and then I just went cuckoo banana crazy with the IBS filters because they're so fun. They're so fun! If you like this video and want to see more of me more often, you can follow me on all my other social media. I post shorts here. I post shorter videos on Reels. I post on TikTok while my country still allows it.
It's time for you
Fascism, 80% speedrun every pony. Whatever. And if you like my work and you want something custom made for you, you should check out my commissions. I'm broke as hell and I'd love to draw for money. Love to do that. Always remember, I'm king and you're not. Subscribe to see the next couple installments. Goodbye!